Okay, that's a fair point. So then, for my most excited point, can we please talk about the one thing that I've been right about so far this season, and that is Brian Daboll getting fired mid-season, like I
Yeah,
predicted?
yeah. I did do a show about this yesterday, so it's fresh in my mind. I've spoke quite a bit about it. What do you want to know from the Giants fan about Brian Daboll being fired, or what do you want to say?
So for me, I guess my first question is, what who are you looking for? Like, what is like to me? It's like
That's some fun stuff to
how
ask.
many head coaches are we gonna blame until we're like we look at the GM and we're just like, and this is where I guess it frustrated me, right? Because Dable has been the coach of like a lot of winning teams, i.e., like he coached Hurts. What's it called? He's been at Alabama. He went to Oklahoma. Then he came, went to the Bills, did so good with Josh Allen, and then if I'm missing any other teams in between, please let me know. But it's like then you go to a team like the Giants, and for me, right, like I enjoyed when he would have the NYPD, NYFD, like he was like New York's dude, bro. Like he took the
He had
pride
major
of that,
aura.
like pride of that city. Like to me, it was like he was about that place, like ride or die all day. And it's like in Hard Knocks, you have your GM's daughter be like, "What about Jane Daniels?" And it's like to me, it's
That
like
was his son.
all these,
He might actually be an apprentice.
you know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
just like to me, it's like you're seeing that ish happen, and it's like this coach brought you guys to the playoffs and won a game, and
It's fired.
you guys are like, "Nah." Rather than look at the GM who was like, "Let's get rid of Saquon," or "Yeah, fuck it, we'll get rid of Daniel Jones, we'll let this stuff slide," and be like, "You know what, bro? We we need you to be here a little longer. I think you're getting close."
So
Part of the issue,
is
I
your
think here-
go ahead? Yeah, Joey.
part of the issue here with Dable that we're not really talking about is like I feel like it was kind of pointed out. He was like a very like whiny. It was the problem was discipline with the team. With Dable, it's always everyone else's fault around him. Like Wink Martindale. I think looking back at it, Wink Martindale was right. Correct, Scott? With what how he felt.
Well, I think Wink Martindale would undermine Brian Daboll at times, and it got under Daboll's skin, and then Daboll responded in a way a head coach shouldn't. Right, he retaliated in certain ways, and
We've seen him on the sideline.
siding
Like he's
siding
like
with
throwing
si-
separate tapes.
siding with the defensive players over the defensive coordinator, and then Martindale and the just the exchanges that they've had, like Dable telling Martindale not to blow another game, referencing one like the Jets when the defense had a great day and the offense and special teams lost it. He totally blew that situation with Martindale, and Shane did as well by allowing it to get so bad. Um, so yeah, I think Martindale had his issues, but I think he was more right. But I think they were both wrong. You know what I mean? I don't think he should have left over something like that. I think it could have been discussed.
We see though like when the Giants play, like there's always Dable like red and like just throwing stuff, yelling at somebody. Like
Absolutely
he was
infuriated.
not. He wasn't very mature as a head coach. I
I
feel
would
like so
probably
people,
feel the same way if I was,
yeah.
to be honest. I would probably have very similar reactions. Honestly, like as a fan, it was relatable. Like whenever I was mad, I liked seeing that my head coach was at least doing something about it. You know what I mean? Like he would be going to the
Really.
referees, being like, "I'm angry
And
about
open
this
it,
now."
and
Like
open it.
the toss and stuff, a tablet to like Daniel Jones things like that. I was like, well, that's really not going to be a good look, and that's not going to help Daniel Jones's confidence. That's going to hurt the relationship. It's those kinds of things that I didn't like, between the players. But anything he did, like, in a game to another coach or another referee, I was like, that's my guy. Like, he's got that dog in him. And I always appreciated that. I was sad to see him go, but I did think it was the right time. But
Where do you
at the
see him?
same
Where do you see
time,
him going?
Dan, it seemed kind of like you were kind of asking me, like, why we didn't clean house, or like why
No,
we
no,
didn't go for Joe Shane first, or Shane
yeah, it's
Bowen.
like that was my really question because to me it's like this dude at least has been producing with the players that you have. Even though like listen, like there's a lot of things and like what I mean, not even trying to like throw shade or freaking go crazy, go stupid. It's just like like from the field, everyone's complained about the turf on the field. Everyone's complained about like what's it
The
called? The
health,
GM, his decisions.
the health
Yeah, the health
staff,
of the team. You know what I'm saying? The holding staff, the ATs, all this.
the
It's like
lack
there's
of
so many.
depth.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So many complaints about it. It's like why get rid of the person that really showed success
Actually showed you
to be,
something.
you know what I'm saying, actually performed and showed you something. Not
You couldn't
like the other
develop
things
these
around.
guys though.
And I
So
guess my question is just like, for
Uh,
example, like, are we gonna go and say like, oh, like we're gonna give credit to Joe Shane because he got Evan Neal, Thibodeau, Malik Neighbors. It's like
you start
cool,
that off with
but like
Evan Neal,
I would
Neal,
he's really healthy and
top of
active
the
all year.
list, cream of
so
the
it's like
crop.
to me, it's like you got all these players and two of them are not playing right now, and one is like doing okay. I guess my question is like, it's like to me, it's like it's hard to say like Joe Shane's that guy because you have these top 10, top 5, top 6 picks.
So what happens
You
when
really
when you have a
can't.
losing season every year?
Yeah, exactly. It's like to me, it's like Joe Shane's just sitting there, just like I just gotta pick a really good guy, get a lot
Yeah,
of jersey sales, and then
yeah.
boom shakalaka, keep my
Sign
job. It's like that is such an easy thing to do when you have a
right.
top 5 pick, no issue, no problem.
So
So
why not get rid of him first?
why is he what like what why is why is the pistol not pointing at him? Like why is
Yeah.
not somebody looking at this man and being like, get this man out of here? Like
So I can answer this two ways. The answer is why I actually think it's like this, and then there's why I think it should have happened. The order of operation of firings I thought we should have had was Shane Bowen on the defensive side. He was a guy that when Martindale left, he likely talked poorly
Ball's
about
right
us
there.
to his other
Part of
defense.
that is part of like with the Daboll era. Part of the problem was like with the way that things ended with Wink, it made the defensive coordinator just for the Giants
last
so
option.
unattractive. Yeah, that's why you ended up with Shane Bowen.
Right.
So you guys really can't fire him because there's no one that was gonna.
Right.
Like, who you gonna put like your linebacker coach or D line coach?
So to me, that was on That was on Shane and Daboll. That whole situation, they were negligent.
Daboll. That's the reason
More
why they
so
were in that
Daboll,
situation.
but they were both responsible for that in a way. Shane is overseeing all of this, and this is my main point: is that I think it should have been Shane Bowen gone first, Joe Shane, and then Brian Daboll last. Because he was the actual guy who did show us something, who did show us that he could have the fundamentals sound that first year of offense if the defense was taken care of. If we have a good defensive coordinator, he could focus on the offense and making big calls on special teams. And even with the depleted roster that we've seemingly had for the past like 3 seasons, with whether it was injuries or actual lack of talent, there's been points in the season where he's shown us something with it, whether we liked it or not, whether we wanted to actually win. He's typically, when we've won, if you actually look at what the Giants were working with, it probably was impressive, right? And how many losses did we have with backup quarterbacks in there?
Yeah, but we're talking about the
Getting
guy that
results.
has
But
the lowest win percentage as a Giants head coach in your history of a franchise. He has the lowest win percentage.
right, and that does fall under the head coach. He doesn't have the lowest. I think he has the second.
He's the lowest.
You might be right. I think he's the lowest. But anyway, we stuck
That's
with
the
him.
guy we're talking about.
We stuck
That's
with
the
him for a
bar
long time, but I said, as far as what Brian Daboll's had to deal with, he's had a top 5 strength of schedule the past 3 seasons, when the past 2 seasons it made absolutely no sense for the Giants to be in that situation, which is just, you could say unfair, but I'm just going to say it was unfortunate break for him for that to happen. And then the injuries. We've lost Saquon for a couple weeks. Daniel Jones tore his ACL in 2023. And then all the injuries we've had to Andrew Thomas. And then this year, how could it get any worse? We have Malik Neighbors and Cam Scatterbo both go down. Dexter Lawrence is coming off of, the elbow from last year. And Daboll did not prepare him properly in the preseason. I would agree with that. And then with Andrew Thomas, we were incapable. We were not equipped with depth behind him, behind Andrew Thomas. And that is on Joe Shane. And what I want to kind of come around to is the reason we lost games this year really wasn't because of the offense. This is the best Giants offense we've seen in years. And Brian Daboll wanted Jackson Dart, and he got him. And so this is because of him. And without Neighbors and Scatterbo, it's still been okay. The years of scoring 13 points a game seem to be over. And that's because of Brian Daboll. We've lost games this year because of the defense collapsing late in games. And part of that is Daboll's fault for the conditioning. It's true. I understand that. And he is probably making a lot of decisions about, are we gonna, what are we gonna do on defense? So send him a blitz, get more aggressive. You're getting picked apart, things like that. But ultimately, Joe Schoen is the guy who hires and signs every single player and coach on the team. So if we're gonna talk about, winning and losing, and we know Brian Daboll handles the offense and he's been responsible for what's been good this year. The rest of what's bad, the rest of everything that's bad is all Joe Schoen. And the defense not being actually well done. That's all on Shane Bowen. Someone Joe Schoen hired and was a huge, I don't think Brian Daboll wanted Saquon gone. I personally believe he wanted Saquon to stay, and Joe Schoen got all cute because the big thing was to not pay running backs. Oh, because I can sign Devin Singletary and draft a 5th-round pick and spend $3 million on a 5th-string corner. Wouldn't you rather have that than Saquon Barkley? No, you don't want that over Saquon Barkley. And there were no other running back that was worth that money, right? And same thing with McKinney. It was clear, wrong decision to sign Daniel Jones. Those two both responsible.
Derrick Henry was also on the market at that time.
I think that was the year. Yes, those three, Jacobs, Henry, and Saquon, were all on the market. They were all getting disrespected. But honestly, the best talent and youngest one was Saquon. Like, to me, it was like, who else? What other running back on the planet Earth is worth, $12 to $15 million than Saquon Barkley? To me, it was nobody else. And you could say, oh, he wasn't helping the Giants win games. We haven't gotten any better without him. Even with Dart now here, we still only have 2 wins. So I definitely blame Shane more. I was sad to see Daboll go, but it had to be a clean house, so he was just kind of like collateral. Honestly, if we could keep him on the team somehow, I would want us to. But it appears, the head coach thing was, he got eaten alive by the bureaucracy in New York. Some crazy crap went down. He made some mistakes, sure, but I don't think he had very many friends in the organization by the end of it, and I think Joe Schoen did. So I think that's why he's still there.
I definitely take that answer.
Did you see what I sent you though? The pattern the Giants are on. I think I sent it in our chat.
What are we supposed to make a wild card next year?
No, it was. Let me see if I sent it.
I think my phone.
It was like how
somewhere.
It's just that you guys like hire a head coach and GM duo, and then after like 3 years, you fire the head coach. The other GM hires another one, and then after 2 years, they get fired.
Yeah, we need to stop doing that.
You guys are following that right now because you're keeping your GM, fired head coach. So 2 years from now, you'll be hiring a new head coach. Is what the pattern that we're on.
I think Shane needs to go. I think
which would mean Jackson Dart would be on his 3rd head coach in like 4 or 5 years.
Which is why we need to just restart and get a young coach who doesn't have any enemies. A GM
restart with your
no
GM
enemies.
Too.
What's that?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think the GM is really killing you, bro.
No, I'm saying he needs to go. Like, we need We need a new GM who has no enemies, who doesn't have this bad reputation, right? I want some guy from the Rams, coaching tree.
You're gonna get
Josh
Mike McCarthy
Grizzard on the Buccaneers. They lose their OC every year. Mike McCarthy, I would never want to see him coaching my team. I swear, I really don't.
We saw odds-on favorite right now is Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, because he wants to go somewhere, but I think the Giants. I hope will want to go a different direction. That would be such a. It would be. How stupid would it be to fire Brian Daboll for Mike McCarthy? I mean, really.
Well, I don't think it's stupid because McCarthy has experience as a head coach where he's had success and he's been proven to develop quarterbacks. That's why you would hire him.
He had Aaron Rodgers though, like for his prime.
And he had Dak.
And he's had Dak. Brian Daboll did this with Daniel Jones and Tommy DeVito.
And now Jackson Dart. And Tommy DeVito.
Dart.
And Tyrod Taylor.
With a terrible offensive line. Like a team like Rodgers would honestly take control of that offense most of the time. So your job is just being the ride along when you're like calling the plays for him or if you're the head coach. And how often did that team come out flat? There's nothing Mike McCarthy has ever done better than Brian Daboll from what I've seen in Brian Daboll's sample size to me. Besides win, which is definitely not correlated to the most talented quarterback we've ever seen being his guy. Like, come on. Like,
so we're just going to invalidate it.
You should be like
out on Bill Belichick. I'm not totally out on him. I mean, we had like 3, 12, and 5 years in a row. That's pretty good.
Yeah, but the team had the same problems every year, though.
What's with this whole John Gruden talk, though?
Well, you're pointing up the tree to the GM, and I'm trying to get rid of that too. I'm just, I think we all agree on what the Giants should do is they should clean house. First of all, let's just establish that. But
They
you know,
already
as far
announced
as
it.
where they should go next, I'd rather have John Gruden, just because I think he's a galvanizer. At least he's gonna bring that edge that Dable had, except even better. And you know, maybe he's evolved his coaching ideas since he's had time off fighting in the courts. You know, for whatever happened there.
It'll never happen.
Whatever happened there. But anyway,
You guys are gonna rehire Tam Coughlin
I would love that.
or
but
keep Mike Kafka.
I don't see us keeping Kafka. I don't really.
Danny,
know
do you
how to
remember
feel
Mike
about
Kafka?
him. I don't think anyone knows how they feel about Mike Kafka. To be
I don't
honest,
even know how I feel about Matt Kafka. I'm trying to remember what this freaking dude looked like. I know the name.
You
I heard
remember
it.
QB3 on the Eagles, like the early 2010s, Mike Kafka?
Oh shit!
You remember that guy?
I know that name.
now he's gonna be leading the Giants into battle.
Yeah.
Well, we discussed the Rams and the Seahawks. We discussed the Patriots and the Chiefs, and we've
Eagles.
discussed the Eagles and Packers. And now we've
And now-
discussed the firing of Brian Daboll. For me, 2 days in a row discussing Brian Daboll getting fired. This is too much trauma for me. Can we please move on and just lose out in peace? You know, I don't want any more season-ending injuries or anything like that.
Where we get the
Can we
culture
move
wins.
on from Shane Bowen and maybe see if someone in-house can do something? And then Joe Shane, maybe he should put, you know, his kid in charge for the last, you know, month and a half of the season, because the only sample size we have of him is a 100% smash hit rate. So maybe he's the guy. And he was boasting about Jackson Dart. He was big on him. So he's that kid's onto something. He's gonna do special things one day. But Joe Shane right now, I'm over it. Maybe he could do good somewhere else, but I don't see it on the Giants. But I would say,
It's kind of crazy after one Hard Knock season and that whole thing happening.
oh, it was over after that.
Yeah, nobody wanted to do Hard Knocks.
It was canceled. But we're approaching
have you
an hour and a
acknowledged that?
half.
Have you acknowledged, though, that they already announced that they're keeping the GM and he's doing that coaching
They're
search?
just trying not to, like, I think they just don't want to blow it up because they don't want all the chaos that comes with that. They're going to kind of do a slow bleed. Could be my delusional optimism, and I know you're going to say it is, but because that's what I want. I want that to be the case.
It's not the case, though. So in your head, you have a
No,
blocked out
because
that
a
they're
team,
keeping their
an
GM.
owner will lie and say, like, he's our guy. I mean, like 2 weeks ago, we're like, Brian Daboll, we never get rid of him, you know? We believe
I
in
don't
him.
know.
Don't you remember 2022? What are you talking about? Are you talking crazy right now? And then here we are. So just give it a couple weeks. We'll see how the team looks without Brian Daboll, because now the microscope's on everyone else, mostly Joe Shane. The shield is gone. If people come out of games blaming Shane Bowen, I'm going to be mad, because I'm going to say, listen, the big cat is still Shane Bowen in this situation. I was going to make a meowing analogy, but I figured that probably just wasn't worth it. But anyhow, yeah, it's just, it's tumultuous times, but we got Jackson Dart, we got Cam Scadaboo, we got Malik Neighbors, we got super talented defense. I think it's an attractive spot, and we'll figure something out. I think we can do better than Mike McCarthy's like 8th or 5th stint or whatever he's on right now of figuring out if that's gonna work. I'd rather have like Clint
All they've
Kubiak,
done is finish win in this league.
Seahawks
Just
offensive
throwing that out
coordinator, Clint Kubiak. Try to get him.
Terrible hire. That guy stinks.
That dude made Derek Carr and the Saints the highest scoring team in the league for 2 weeks, and then he's done this with the Seahawks. Anyway,
Yes. Horrible.
it's time for us to wrap it up and close it out. We are at an hour and a half, and I know everyone is. Let's see. Is there any questions in the chat before we
Guys,
go?
there's one thing. I have something.
We got 2 watching right now. What's up, guys?
One of the things we didn't do was talk about the Bears at all. And they're 6-3.
Yeah, dude, I don't.
Oh,
buy
yeah,
them
my
as a top
team.
10
I
team.
figured.
I know they're 6-3
I
though.
know,
They're
but
like
in the playoffs
They almost
contention right
lost
now.
to the Giants. I mean,
they won.
I know, but it's not a great accomplishment. The Broncos did the same thing. The Cowboys did the same thing. The Saints did the same thing. And no matter who the
Eagles-
Giants play, they're going to lose either by going up 2 scores and then losing, or they're just going to lose the old-fashioned way.
What do you prefer?
Honestly,
I would
it's actually
rather
funny
lose.
because I said going into the season. If we could just lose in more exciting ways, like if that win percentage chart could go a lot more up and down instead of just, I'd be a lot more excited. And I won't lie, I guess I am. I guess I'm more excited to watch each week just to see the train wreck, how it's all gonna go wrong. And you watched me do it week 2 versus Dallas when you saw it on my energy that I was like, oh, you think we're in winning position right now? Like, what do you think this is? Yeah. Like the Kansas City Chiefs or even just an average football team? No, this is the Giants. We get 64-yard field goals kicked on us for game winners, like nobody else, and we allow 50-yard completions with 13 seconds left. So that's who we are, and I think I'm going to close it out on that. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to